Later this month, Russians will go to the polls to elect a president. There are 8 candidates on the ballot, but there's little doubt about the outcome. Recent polls show Vladimir Putin has the support of about 70% of the country. You are poised to be re-elected for your 4th term as president here in Russia, right?
Well, we will see. It's up to the Russian voters.
Well, sort of. After all, the Russian leader controls almost everything in the country, including the media. And critics say he rules by fear. Putin has allegedly left a trail of dead enemies, from journalists who criticized him to opponents. Do you believe that he is personally behind those murders?
It's hard for me to believe in this most top-down control of societies anyone would take such actions by themselves.
Just days ago in England, somebody did take action against a former Russian spy and his daughter. They were mysteriously poisoned. The Kremlin denies any involvement. As for political opponents, they are often harassed and discredited. Take the country's best-known opposition leader and anti-corruption fighter, Alexei Navalny. In January, Navalny was arrested for the umpteenth time for organizing anti-Kremlin rallies. He's a hero to Russian millennials, a master of social media. But Russia's leaders see him as a dangerous influence and barred him from running in the election because of a fraud conviction many believe was politically motivated. How does somebody like Vladimir Putin, who's as popular as you are here in Russia, feel any threat from Navalny? I realize he's gotten in legal trouble, but couldn't you pardon this guy and let him mount a meaningful challenge to you?
I would like to cooperate with those people, and I'm prepared to do so, who are trying to make Russia a stronger, more competitive, more effective country. A country that is self-sufficient. There are people like that, including...
But Navalny is such a man. Navalny's such a man and has a fair amount of popularity here in Russia.
Anyone can be pardoned, as long as he deserves it.
Why don't you?
As long as he deserves it.
Assuming he wins re-election, Mr. Putin will be running Russia until 2024. The Russian constitution does not allow a president to serve more than 2 consecutive terms, but constitutions can be amended. Term limits can be abolished. The Chinese president just abolished term limits. Is that something you would ever do?
I think I did tell you yesterday that I said that I never amended the constitution. And particularly, I have never done so to suit my own interest, and I don't have any such plans today.
But stepping down from the presidency carries risks. Can you leave power? Because some of the experts that we've spoken to have said it would be near impossible for you because someone in your position would likely either be thrown in jail by your adversaries or worse. They said it's actually sad that you'll have to stay in power in order to stay well.
Your so-called experts engage in wishful thinking. I have heard a ton of nonsense on this matter. Why are you so certain that the people who come to power in Russia after me would like to destroy everything I have done in the last few years? Perhaps, on the contrary, there'll be people who will want to strengthen Russia, to create a future for it, to create a platform to foster future generations.
But that's years away. Here's where the U.S.-Russian relationship stands now. The 2 countries are barely talking. Russia desperately wants an end to sanctions that were imposed 4 years ago. And there is evidence that the Russians, having interfered in one U.S. election, are already trying to disrupt another. Do you think there's a chance that Russia and the U.S. could actually partner together again?
I think we're probably facing a future where most of what happens between the United States and Russia under Putin is adversarial, but there still could be little pockets of limited cooperation.
One of the questions our audience is going to have is, how do we walk this back? How do we get to the place where these 2 great nations are less adversaries and something closer to allies, which we clearly are not right now? Do you agree we are not?
Unfortunately not. But we are not the ones who labeled you our enemies. You made a decision at the level of Parliament, at the level of Congress, and put Russia on your list of enemies. Why did you do that? Are we the ones who imposed sanctions on the United States? The U.S. imposed sanctions on us.
You know why?
No, I don't know why. Listen, let's sit down calmly, talk and figure things out. I believe that the current president wants to do that, but there are forces that won't let him do it. We are prepared to do so on any subject, including missile issues, including cyberspace, including counterterrorism, anytime.
But experts say a move to the table is highly unlikely right now, and the man in the Kremlin knows that. This is the Grand Kremlin Palace, and if, as expected, Vladimir Putin is re-elected, in a few weeks he will walk through these magnificent rooms to take his oath as president of Russia. Will his next term set Russia and the United States on a path to a better relationship or on a collision course? It's clear there's a lot at stake. I'm Megyn Kelly. For all of us at NBC News, good night.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.